We can't hear the audio.
Hello, greetings, saludos, good afternoon for everyone joining us from across the country. My name is Nicole Melaku. I'm the Executive Director of the National Partnership for New Americans. You're tuning in today to New American Voters, an emerging voting bloc with a powerful message. Now that we've naturalized, let's vote. Today's segment is part of the New American Voters Campaign, a C3 nonpartisan national campaign to encourage eligible immigrants to vote once they've naturalized in this year's elections. With only 105 days left, elections are in full swing. We have heard many remarks disparaging immigrant communities over the last week, especially coming out of Milwaukee. And we have heard over and over again the threats to immigrant communities from politicians. We know that these are lies and hateful, divisive rhetoric, deflecting from the real issues that matter to our communities, and people continue to use immigrants as scapegoats. And we know that that blatant, hateful rhetoric will not go unchecked. Today, we are talking about the bright spots of many parts of this election, which include the many people who will be eligible to vote in this year's election. And there's 3.5 million of them, just to give you a sneak peek of what we'll be talking about today. So I'm delighted to be joined by our co-host today with Rocio Sáenz, Secretary Treasurer of SEIU, a key partner committed to naturalization and elevating the voice of new American voters. Welcome, Rocio. Bienvenida.
Thank you, Nicole, for your kind introduction, and really thank you for your leadership on this very important campaign to empower and motivate naturalized U.S. citizens to make their voices heard this election. So hello, everyone. Bienvenidos. I'm really excited to be here with all of you today. I'm Rocio Sáenz, Secretary Treasurer of SEIU. SEIU and its 2 million members are proud to rejoin efforts to ensure that everyone, regardless of party affiliation, where we come from, or the color of our skin, has a voice at the ballot box this November. And as part of our work toward a more inclusive and welcoming America, we are fully committed to engaging our immigrant members who are eligible to apply to U.S. citizenship and supporting them and their naturalized journey here. So we also wanted to encourage them to get out to vote this November. Like you say, Nicole, the dangerous rhetoric we heard last week at the RNC threatens our democracy and leaves our communities vulnerable to attacks. So the choices couldn't be more clear for us. This November, we must get out and vote for our families. We must choose between a future in which we have freedoms, keeping American families together, or a future where MAGA Republicans take away our freedoms, separate our families, and allow corporations to decide our futures for us. You know, Nicole, immigrants have a powerful impact on the U.S. economy. They are innovators, job creators, and taxpayers, driving Fortune 500 companies and small businesses as well. At SEIU, we're fully committed to ensuring that newly naturalized citizens use the power of the vote to fight back on the attacks against all working people and elect candidates who will lower prices, raise wages, and support unions for all. You know, we understand that our union, our communities, and our democracy are stronger when everyone participates in our democracy. And with that, I have the pleasure of introducing our next speaker via video, Celeste Philibert, from the Fight for a Union in Florida, who applied to become a U.S. citizen this year, and he's waiting to hear back from USCIS. So please, let's hear this very special message in Haitian Creole for Celeste.
Allô, bonsoir. Moi, c'est Celeste Philibert. Moi, travaille dans l'hôtel Miami Beach. Et puis, moi, quand travaille dans McDonald's. Mwen travay di paske m pa ka vote paske mwen pa citizen, se rezidans mwen genyen. M bezwen pou nou nyan ede mwen pou m jwen citizenship la, pou m kapab jwen solisyon pou m vote. Sometime m pran 3 boss, sometime m pran 2. M pran 2 boss pou may travay. Travay ma fè pa permet mwen pa ban opportunité peut-être m ta achete machine. Gen madame Haïti, m gen petit Haïti, plus frère se, mais hélas. Madame nan pa ici, ti moun nan pa ici. Mwen tâche try pour montrer famille mwen. Puis m vini map travay, map paye taxe. Yo vin travay di pour yo paye taxe, pour yo paye bill. C'est pas on l'autre bagay yo vin faire, yo vin travay di. Et m konnen yo travay di. Pour yo payer côté yo été, pour yo payer taxe, pour yo avoir de la vie.
Thank you, Excellence, for sharing your story with us and for your words of motivation and to urge U.S. naturalized citizens to vote. I'll now hand things over to Nicole Melaku, who will share some insightful data and results from a very exciting poll conducted early this year. Nicole.
Thank you so much, Rocio. And now, this election couldn't be higher stakes, as we mentioned. What's on the ballot is our safety, our livelihoods, Supreme Court appointments for years to come, and generational implications for climate and for economic justice and racial justice in this country. And so I want to talk a little bit about the 3.5 million people who have naturalized since the last election and are projected to have naturalized by the time we get to this year's election. And so if you see the vast number of people from across the country that have taken this important step, it is a powerful, growing electorate and a voting bloc. So who are we talking about? Over the last several years, there have been reports, one including from Migration Policy Institute, that of the 46.2 million immigrants living in the United States, 53% or 24.5 million folks are naturalized citizens. So that is just a huge chunk of the immigrant voting electorate who are naturalized citizens. And again, as I mentioned, the 3.5 million folks who naturalized over the last 3 years are really a diverse and vibrant electorate. Numbers are powerful when we look at this, when we see and hear about our people going to the polls. As part of the New American Voters campaign, we analyzed how powerful and impactful these numbers can be when we look at them next to the margin of victories in key states. So I'll hang tight here while we put up that slide. It comes down to a couple thousand votes in many states, and it's really impactful and important that we make sure we educate and engage our electorate. So in this poll conducted between April and May in partnership with the U.S. Immigration Policy Center at UC San Diego, we surveyed naturalized citizens who are registered to vote in Arizona, California, Florida, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Texas. And a key takeaway is that 96% of all voters said they will probably vote and are definitely voting in this year's election, indicating enthusiasm among naturalized voters. So we see a growing electorate who is engaged and excited about participating in their first presidential election cycle. We also know that many of these folks have completed a long journey toward naturalization, and now they're able to finally vote in this high-stakes election. We hope that you will join us in encouraging all of our newly naturalized voters to follow suit and make their voice heard in this election. Back to you, Rocio.
Thank you so much, Nicole. That was very insightful and really exciting to hear that the new Americans are motivated to head to the polls this November. And now that we know that the new Americans voters are excited to make their voices heard, let's discuss the issues that matter to these voters the most. So according to the survey's results, voters indicated that the most pressing issues for their households are high cost of living, inflation, the economy, and immigration. So this election, workers are going to vote for candidates who got their backs and have solutions to many of these pressing issues. They know what is at stake because they see it in their paychecks, their bills, and when they go to the grocery stores in the checkout line. Working people know food and rent prices are too high and wages are too low. And they're ready to elect candidates who will lower prices, raise wages, allow everyone to join unions, and keep American families together by fixing our inhumane immigration system. They will show up to elect leaders who will see them, hear them, and help them and their families. And because voters are paying attention, in fact, this will show that new American voters are in a very engaged electorate. So 82% of voters surveyed in this report, they said that they are paying some attention or a lot of attention to the election. And 83% say protecting democracy and government institutions are somewhat important for my vote or very important for my vote. And with this, I want to introduce another member of the SEIU family, Alejandro of SEIU USWW in California. Alejandro also applied to become a US citizen this year and is waiting to hear back. Alejandro couldn't be here with us, but he sent us a very special message in Tagalog.
Hello, ako po ay si Alejandro, isang security officer at membro ng SEIU USWW. Dumayo kami ng asawa kong si Ophelia 17 years ago galing sa Pilipinas upang makasama ang aming anak dito sa States. Sa kasamaang palad, naiwan ang dalawa naming anak. Gayunpaman, patuloy pa rin naming pinagsisikapang makasama silang muli. Mabuti na lang sa video calls, kami ay nananatiling konektado. Ang pamilya ko ay nagkakahiwalay. Katulad ko rin yung mga taong pumunta sa Amerika sa pamagitan ng Mexico upang mapaunlad ang kanilang buhay at bigyan ng magandang bansa ang kanilang pamilya. Kinakailangan natin ng isang sistema ng imigrasyon na inuuna ang pagkakaisa ng pamilya at kaligtasan para sa lahat. At kinakailangan natin ng mga leaders na gagawa nito. Bilang isang green card holder, hindi ako makaboto. Gusto ko magkaroon ng influensya sa aking kinabukasan at kinabukasan ng aking pamilya. Ito ang dahilan kung bakit ako sumali sa SEIU Virtual Citizenship Workshop at nag-apply para sa US citizenship noong nakaraang buwan. Tuwang-tuwa ako sa nabalang araw ay maaaring akong bumoto sa unang pagkakataon. Magpapakuha ko ng litrato na bumoboto para maipadala ko sa aking pamilya sa Pilipinas. Sa mga kapwa ko green card holder, kung kwalipikado kayong maging mamayang ng Amerika, hinihikayat ko kayong mag-apply sa lalong madaling panahon. Kung kaya ko, kaya nyo rin. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Alejandro, for your powerful message. And for those of you who are watching and listening on our social media channels, and if you are a naturalized US citizen and want to register to vote, we have a couple of resources for you. So I invite you to visit the website iamerica.org/vote to register. Again, iamerica.org/vote. Or you also can text VOTE to 802495. Again, 802495, and you can text VOTE. Don't miss out on being part of our democracy. Your voice matters. Our votes are our demand for a better future. And you know what? We won't be distracted or divided by extreme attacks on immigrants and right-wing divisive tactics. And because we are in this together, and our families and communities thrive when we are united. And with that, I'll hand things over to Nicole to share resources for first-time voters, as well as some great news for those of you that may be interested in becoming citizens.
Thank you so much, Rocio. And I do think that important message of unifying our voice, unifying our collective power to make sure everybody in our community who's eligible to vote is informed and educated about what's at stake in this election. And so if you newly naturalized, we need you to vote. We invite you to visit our website, newamericanvoters.org. And on the homepage, you'll visit our Vote 411 page, where you can find information on how to register to vote, key deadlines for your states, what's on the ballot, and ways to vote. Our organizations, I know SEIU, NPNA, and the many members that make up our membership are here to help you. You can find ways to get in touch with us through our website as well. And Rocio, you are correct. It's always a good time to become a citizen. Depending on where you live, there are vast amounts of resources and community partners ready to assist you with your naturalization application for free or for low cost through community support. Get in touch with a trusted attorney or visit NPNA Legal Services to find an organization near you that might be able to help you through the process. And lastly, I want to share some really exciting news for everybody who's ready and eligible to become a citizen. On April 1st of this year, USCIS made changes to a fee structure, and the fee waiver was codified for a partial fee waiver that was expanded, meaning people more than ever before may qualify for the reduced fee of only $380 instead of $760. This is for people who have to be at or below 400% of the federal poverty guideline, which many of you don't know is for a family of four. That is around under $76,000 a year. And in our partnership with USC Dorn's Knife, we found that 1.8 million people might be eligible to pay this reduced fee. So let's spread the word now for our family members who've maybe not quite taken that step and are eligible to do so now. Back to you, Rocio.
Thank you, Nicole. And you heard that right. You can still become a citizen this year. In fact, if you're listening right now and curious whether you are eligible to become a citizen, you can visit the website iamerica.org/citizenship, and you can take a short eligibility quiz and find out. It is quick, easy, and free. And with this ends our Facebook Live. And thank you to those who joined, and thank you our SEIU members for sending us your messages of motivation. And thank you, Nicole. Back to you, Nicole.
Thank you so much, Rocio, and thank you to the membership and to all of the partners who really help make our collaborative efforts move forward. And thank you especially to your members who shared their stories, a powerful reminder of community who are ready and engaged to participate civically. We'll see you at the polls. And in the meantime, I know we'll be talking to you a lot more throughout the coming months. As I mentioned, 105 days left to go, and we do not want to leave any of our community members' voice on the table. It's too important, and democracy depends on us. Thank you for joining us today.